Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It's new comic book day for the week of January 11th, and we're going to get started right now. First up this week, something new for people who've been watching for the last couple weeks, Anger. This week is Suicide Squad issue number 9, which is a tie-in to the Justice League Suicide Squad. Story-wise, this is a very important issue if you are paying attention to the crossover, because it shows the first and only mission for the original Task Force X, which is the group that is now evil and the big bads for the series. So you get to see the reasonings as to why the Suicide Squad is the way it is today, and why the big bad people are pissed off at the new Suicide Squad. The only issue I have with it is, I guess at some point this month, artist took a day off, so it's not Jim Lee art. And that's something I've come to really love about this series. So it's very jarring to be used to something for so long and then not have it for an issue. Now, of course, he'll be back shortly, but it's those one or two issues, specifically when you're in the middle of an arc, that are kind of bothersome, because it's like you're expecting something and you're in the middle of an arc, and all of a sudden literally everything changes at the drop of a hat, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. So if you're a fan of Jim Lee art, you're not going to buy this issue because he's not in it anywhere. If you're a fan of the storyline, or if you're a fan of the Suicide Squad, you will pick this up. This actually is a very important issue. But if you're in it just for the Jim Lee art, skip it.
Hey guys, it's Tim from Capes and Scowls and the comic book store. How are you? I hope you're well. Let's talk about this Red Sonja book. Red Sonja number 1. It's like the 27th number 1 Red Sonja from Dynamite ever. But it's different in that it's Red Sonja in modern times, January 2017. That's modern times, as of this recording. You don't know how she ended up in New York in current day. She doesn't know how she ended up in New York current day, but it does involve her as a half-naked woman with a sword ending up in the middle of New York unexpectedly. It will cause the police to show up, and the police do manage to apprehend her, and they take her to a mental facility that she says, hey, this isn't right, what's going on? You know, she figured out she's somewhere she doesn't know where she is. She hasn't figured out she's in the future per se. One of her villains is also still around in this current time and tries to get a hold of her, and she manages to escape. And then it's what happens from there. It's what does Red Sonja do when she's in current? She puts on a jacket. That's what she does. It's cold. There's snow on the ground. Okay? Chainmail, not good. January attire. It was actually pretty good. It was weird. I didn't think I was going to like it. I love Red Sonja. That's why I didn't think I was going to actually like it. It was fine. I'm curious to see where it goes.
What? A rant again? Yeah. Same thing. Titans issue number 7. This is a kind of a one-off series. The Titans are relocating to a new Titans lair. And if you're a fan of the original Titans, or if you're a fan of anything that you love about the Titans or the Teen Titans, you'll love the ending of this comic. It's a very awesome send-off to where the rest of this comic is going to go. However, if you love Brett Booth art, you're going to be really upset because he's not in it. But one of the few good things I like about DC's incessant amount of advertising is that the very next issue, at the beginning of the next arc, Brett Booth will be back. So, for the first time ever, I'm actually happy about advertisement, because 5 pages in, I wasn't going to throw this comic. It's just a temporary reprieve. But it's kind of tough, because when you're used to such great art, and then it takes even a little bit of a step back, it becomes a problem. But the storyline was good. As you can see, it is our Wally and Superman racing. It definitely is one part of the series. It's a good one. But if you're there strictly for the art, you're going to be sorely disappointed, and you're probably going to skip this one. But if you're a fan of the Titans, and this is a very good issue to do, pick it up.
All right, guys, next review. But before I talk about Spider-Man, let's give a big shout-out to the Cleveland University Vikings. Good luck, Vikings, in Viking endeavors. That's an inside joke, people. Don't worry about it. Anyways, Spider-Man, number 12. I have read this many issues of Spider-Man, although I do enjoy Miles Morales. Couldn't really care less about Spider-Gwen, that's just me personally. But I said, hey, look, it's that iconic pose. Why are they making out? I guess they like each other. All right, well, I'll bite. I'll read this issue. This issue was terrible. Basically, all setup, but not enough action. Miles makes out with her on the first page, and then it's not brought up again. He is trying to find his father, who is missing. His mother doesn't know where he is. It involves S.H.I.E.L.D., because his father has ties to S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's, I don't want to give too much away, but it was just really loosely done, and kind of boring. The payoff, it's almost like, hey, you shouldn't have read this. You should have just read next month's issue. Next month's issue is going to be great. This is not. So skip this one. Wait, how many copies do we have on the shelf? Yeah, so skip this one. No, this one wasn't very good. Read next month's.
And lastly, we have a twofer. We have X-Men versus the Inhumans, issue number 2, and also Uncanny X-Men, issue number 17, which is a tie-in. Inhumans is doing amazing. It's not going where I was expecting it to go. We are dealing with our first big fight between the Inhumans and the X-Men, and it doesn't go nearly as well as you expect it to go. It's well written, the art is great, and you get to see some really cool fights that you weren't expecting to see. Some great matchups that you probably wish you could have seen and you have in previous comics, and you get to this time. Definitely leads off. I'm really excited to see how this one goes. This is the one that's been pleasantly surprising to me, because I was expecting to absolutely hate this series and hate this event, but it's been doing pretty well. And as a result, we've been looking at the Uncanny X-Men, which is something that picks up immediately following this book. So as soon as this book ends, this is basically what's going on. It's a Sabretooth issue, and we were kind of dealing with the aftermath of this first battle and the winning and losing aspects of it. I won't give you a hint as to who won, who lost, but it's surprising. It's a pretty good one, too, because we're dealing with Sabretooth's feelings, because a lot of those people that have been in the 90s loving the Sabretooth that was there are used to the bloodthirsty, crazy monster. And a lot of people kind of would not be happy with what they would consider neutered version of Sabretooth now, the one that's not killing people. He's kind of that way too. He's very conflicted in this book, and we are dealing with a lot of his inspirations and what is going on here. It's definitely one to pick up, especially if you are following the Inhumans X-Men crossover. Unlike some of the other ones, it's not a throwaway. This one actually does deal with some things that are going on there.
All right, and for my final review from Image Comics, you get God Country, number 1. This book was pretty good. I hadn't heard of it. I didn't order it. I didn't know anything about it. Turns out it's about a man, his wife, and his daughter. I believe in Texas is where it's supposed to take place. They go to a town, and they're trying to watch over the man's father, who has Alzheimer's and is causing a disturbance. And the local law enforcement are like, you need to put him in a home or something. He almost hurt one of my officers trying to, subdue him. And he's like, no. And then they have an argument. The wife leaves, and he's like, I'll stay with my dad. I'm loyal till the end. And then insanity happens, and a tornado rips through the town, and it hits the house. Very Wizard of Oz-like, and interesting things happen. How do I say this without spoiling the interesting things? The dad is not what he seems to be, and there's a reason the dad is not what he seems to be, and there might actually be gods involved in this story. There's not a lot I can say without spoiling this. Just read it. It was actually really good. I would check out issue 2. I really enjoyed it. It was pretty clever. The art's okay. You may or may not like the art. I was kind of in the middle on it. but it's not terrible. But I tell you what, read it. God Country, Image, #1. There you go.
This week's trade recommendation, we have Unfollow, the second issue, or the second trade issue that it picks up on a series that we've already covered before. So to give you a quick synopsis, Unfollow is a billionaire who has created their version of Twitter is dying. He picks a random 140 people to inherit all of his money, $14 billion worth. Everyone gets it equally. However, if anybody dies, that person's winnings are gone and distributed to the remainders. So as you can assume, yes, a group of people just start killing everyone. And we do see a lot of the motivations. Unfollow follows different characters, a couple different characters. You're learning some new people of the 140 that are important, and you are still getting some of the 140 that you did like from the first series. Some major twists and turns in this one. It is very strong, and it is picked up very well from the first trade, and has really kind of turned up the psychological thriller as well as the straight action in there. So if you were a fan of Unfollow the first time, definitely pick this one up because it is huge, and the implications of this will reverberate through the rest of the series. I definitely say that if you are a fan of this trade, if you're a fan of this series, definitely pick this up because it was awesome. So for this week's winners, guys, we're just giving away 2 promotional posters. The winners are Joseph Michaels. Yeah, you've heard that name before. He constantly comments on everything, and those who comment the most, just by sheer statistics, are going to win more often than not. So Joseph Michael and Matt Sandone, thank you guys. You guys are getting posters. Make sure you shoot us over a message with your address because we don't save that stuff, and we will get you posters out right now. So the winners of this week will be the same thing because we have that many posters left in stock. So we're going to pick 2 winners again this week. So all you have to do to enter, make sure you're subscribed to Capes and Scowls and our channel. Like this video and then comment with a recommendation on something that you found through our series. That's pretty much it, guys, and we will see you again next week.